I'm Dan Cannon. I'm as Marty said, a Wall Street veteran since 1989. Over the years, I accumulated 7 securities licenses and worked in private equity, venture capital, M&A, all that. I got introduced to the blockchain space in 2016 at a bar outside of the exchange called Bobby Vans. I don't know if you remember that, any of you, right? Gene, yeah. And the guy asked me if I wanted to get involved in Bitcoin mining, and I really had no idea what that was. But I started buying Bitcoin in 2016, and I thought it was all BS, really, you know. And so, coming from a Wall Street perspective, I started testing liquidity, and sure enough, when you hit the withdrawal button, it showed up at Chase Bank in 6 hours, right? And I don't know if anybody has recognized the failure of some banks this year, Silicon Valley Bank, Signature Bank, Republic Bank. Anybody notice any friction in the conventional banking system these days? Deposit a check, they'll hold it for 10 days. They'll cut off your debit card on Friday night, and then you have to talk to a customer service representative 9 o'clock if you could get a human being on the phone. On the weekend, I'm sending Ethereum to a developer in Pakistan in 10 seconds, right? So the friction in the system is absurd. And everyone, I will tell you, that's presenting at this conference or here will use this platform that we've invented. And that is simply, some of you know what a stable coin is, USDC, yeah, right? Tether, it's about 110 billion of it. There's about 2.1 trillion US dollars issued and outstanding in the float flying around the world. 60% of that is offshore. So if you're in the investment business, selling securities, how'd you like to tap $1 trillion in cash? Well, through our platform and through an app, our first customer, Monorail Securities, you'll be able to do that if you live in France or Germany or Switzerland or Taiwan, Thailand. You'll be able to access US financial markets, which is next to impossible to do right now, currently. If you ever try to open a bank account as a foreigner, if you don't live here and you don't work for a US company, you can't do that. Particularly if you live in the European Union or in Asia, you just can't access US financial markets. That friction we hope to eliminate. So what you can do is download, let's say, a Monorail app, and you can, within 6 questions, lightning quick, we can get you AML, KYC compliant. So we interface with, yes, the feds, FinCEN, all the usual suspects, to red flag money launderers and drug dealers and bad actors out there. So we're able to very quickly determine if your wallet is clean. And if it is clean and you want to buy treasuries, you want to buy ETFs, you want to buy mutual funds, equities, or even private placements, you could do that with your USDC, ultimately Tether, and any value that in a digital way that can be transferred. So your Bitcoin, your Ethereum, whatever is really liquid, you'll be able to acquire American dollar-backed securities. So that also means that if you have a private equity deal, let's say some of you invested in an A round in a company, and they're in their D round now, and you've held that paper for 5 or 6 years, and the IPO market's not very hot right now, and the company's not going public, and you want to get liquid, those deals will be vetted and posted on this particular Monorail app. So people around the world will be able to participate in that as well. Secondary offerings, that's what that's about. If there are companies that are imminently going public, which we think there'll be another boom in 24 for that, for various reasons, they'll be able to do that, to participate in that. So if you lived in Europe or Asia, there's no way you could get on any of my private equity deals ever. You had to know somebody. You have to know somebody. So I was part of 5 syndicates in 2020 that took several high-profile companies public, DraftKings, Palantir, SoFi, Asana. So I know how the system works. So we'll be able to take down large blocks of these syndicates and distribute them internationally. If you create ETFs, their whole business model is distribution, right? So you can literally triple your ETF distribution internationally over 5 years. So we feel that the digital dollar is inevitable, the digital euro, digital pound, digital yen, all of these currencies will be traded and be able to move through our payment rail, our infrastructure very quickly. And we have kind of a how it works slide deck. Another use case is for sports gambling. So if you wanted to bet on the Super Bowl, the Kentucky Derby, PGA golf, tennis, soccer, football, Formula One, any of those things, you could do that through this payment rail, this bridge into the United States. I'm told 2 minutes before our deck comes in. So this is possible, of course, on chain, and it's as much of a data play as it is a technology play or a fintech play. And what I mean by that is that with the advent, of course, artificial intelligence, and every ice cream store now is an AI shop, but artificial intelligence has its practical use cases. And with artificial intelligence, you can scan millions and millions of pages per second. So we can look back at every crypto wallet, if you will, digital wallet, about 90+ million out there in the world, and we could look at every transaction ever done. So we can zero in on who's doing what to whom and why. We can target those folks. If you're selling real estate, you might want to target some real estate investors offshore that can invest using digital dollars. If you're selling anything dollar denominated, whether it's Amazon, Walmart, anybody can use this platform. Okay.
We're gonna get it.
So the data collection is very important. Some of the biggest valuations out there are companies that collect a lot of data on us. So we can predict behavior. We can, in a very quick way, for our customers. So the market opportunity, as you can see here, about $15.8 trillion worth of transactions annually. Stablecoin transactions are 7.4 trillion. If you break it down to USDC, that's about 2.5 billion a day. That's from from USDC into Bitcoin, Ethereum, and all the other digital assets still around. We think it should go the other way in some cases. Some people want to diversify, build a portfolio, save for the future. We think Bitcoin has a tremendous place in one's portfolio for the long term. But maybe they want to invest in treasuries. If you live in European Union, your currency is down 20% in the last 18 months. If you live in the United Kingdom, it's around 25%. If you live in Japan, your currency is down maybe 40%. If you're just holding digital dollars, you'd be fine. If you could invest that in a treasury, you'd be better off. If you invested in Bitcoin this year, you'd be really good, huh, Tim? Yeah, you'd be really good. And of course, now that BlackRock wants a Bitcoin ETF, it's probably going to happen. So that's another asset. So asset class. So these are just some slides on the user flow. You can download Monorail app. You can get KYC AML approved within seconds. Because we have the blacklist, we have, if you're red flagged, soft red flag, or whitelisted. So this goes on continuously in the background. So it's not a one-time event, it's continuous. So you may have a clean wallet and then all of a sudden your wallet has gone, someone who is a bad actor sent you some digital dollars or Bitcoin or something, you get a soft red flag. So you want to be able to fix that as quickly as possible. Anyway, so this is my business partner, Talent. He's from Switzerland. I'm gonna let him step up and speak a little bit about the European perspective on US dollar denominated assets.
Right. Also the techie, obviously. Yeah, Dan's the Wall Street guy. He has onboarded the ETFs, the investments, pretty much everything, the licenses, etc. I'm going to speak from a technical perspective, which obviously we have technical issues because we work in crypto, so Zoom pings the Chinese servers, and we've blocked all our Chinese connections to Zoom as a result of wasn't working. But to jump into this, you can think of us as a high volume, very large amount, 500K plus payment rail. So when you do on PayPal any transfers nowadays, if you do $500, that's easy. If you do $1,000, that's easy. If you want to do $50,000, the FBI is going to be knocking on your door. With our technology on the KYC AML side on crypto, we can support very large transactions, 500K plus, almost instantaneously, or at the very least, several orders of magnitude faster than it would work nowadays, both ways. So both from fiat to crypto, as well as from crypto to fiat. So this is both of interest to, let's say, exchanges, private market makers, etc., but also of interest to existing brokerages, especially in the US, which are interested in onboarding crypto users which have taken profits, but do want to diversify into US dollar denominated assets, such as treasuries, especially nowadays, which, as we've seen with Dan flying around the world, is of great interest. And it is a niche which no one's going after right now, at least not in this fashion. Right? Everyone wants to go from fiat to crypto, but our initial beachhead market, if you will, is definitely crypto from fiat for those amounts. And the feedback so far has been great. So the way we've done this is via a stupid simple process of just logging in via our SDK. I can answer questions, technical questions afterwards, which is like a login flow. If you've ever logged in through Facebook or Google, like it's the same thing via your wallet. And applications such as Monorail, True Trader Pro, etc., are integrating us already, and we're testing things out so that users can do all of this very seamlessly. You can see that we have both account onboarding creation as well as the KYC AML. KYC AML standing for Know Your Customer and Anti-Money Laundering. That's the single biggest issue the US government has, specifically the US government, but really any government. We've come up with quite an advanced technology which allows to analyze the entire network of different blockchains and their interconnections, as well as the transactions both within blockchains as well as between blockchains, to make sure that money laundering isn't happening on chain.
Just a quick question. On this KYC, are you demanding they upload their driver's license and their tax returns?
Yes, that is part of the regulatory requirements. So for larger amounts, they even require either a direct banking connection, which is how we are doing it for users abroad, and with exchanges, what they ask for is essentially what is your net worth right now, and how did you make your net worth? Exactly.
It's the due diligence, it's your tax.
Exactly. Now, if you've made almost all your money in crypto, as is the case for 2/3 of the crypto traders outside the US, is actually almost completely sufficient to track their profit and loss statements based on their crypto trading, which is on-chain and viewable. So that is kind of our innovation there, where if you've done on-chain trading or even between exchanges trading, we can, just by you logging in via your wallet, we can actually see your profit and loss statement.
Gemini and see my trades?
If you log in, yes, through us. So that is part of our innovation there. Next part of our innovation is that our KYC AML is continuous. So once you've associated your wallet with your real world identity, we continue to track you as well as all your neighboring trades and exchange and wallets, whether anything nefarious is happening via existing FBI, etc. databases, which are publicly available. And we can do some pretty advanced statistical analysis on whether you're doing anything down the line. So today on an exchange, if you send money in, what they do is they check you up front, especially for larger amounts, and then they kind of are hands off. And most of the time when something nefarious happens, it happens afterwards, right? Someone sends you money, so you go through, something bad happens, etc. With us, that's not possible because we actually in real time on chain see that the transaction has happened. And every single time an exchange and or a broker does want to do a transfer, they ping us via our API. So it is a real-time thing rather than a once upfront thing. Which reduces risks for the people getting onboarded tremendously, and therefore they don't fear that things like what happened to Binance and others would happen down the line, right? With us, it would actually be checked in real time. If we could continue the slides. Yeah, and then part of the SDK is just the screen as to how much you want to send. This is another innovation of ours where we have an on-chain invoicing system, which is compatible with any Ethereum-based networks. We're working on the Bitcoin-based networks as well. Traditionally, right, very young industry. There's a problem with invoicing where with credit cards, you put in your number, it's the merchant that charges you the right amount, and you just have to click on pay. In crypto, you have to actually upfront define how much money you want to send, especially if you're a self-hosted wallet. What we have done is we've used standardized invoicing system. Okay, too technical, but it works with almost every wallet out there. So we can actually show the user the amount he is supposed to send in upfront rather than leaving it up to the user. And by doing so, we're just reducing any risk points along the way. So we're really just hyper optimizing every single step here. If we could continue. And yeah, the money flow is also of great interest here and innovation. So traditionally with exchanges and others, the legal step as well as the technical step, which is the issue, is the exchange itself, right? There's at least two parties exchanging it, be that with a market maker or on an order book with a counterparty. That has several issues because you have to do KYC on both sides and it actually increases risks quite a bit. In our case, what we do is we do only on-chain trades, which makes and leaves everything to be very transparent and highly efficient as well, especially for stablecoins and Bitcoin and Ethereum. But then we are instead redeeming the stablecoin, in this case USDC, against the dollars in the bank account. And Circle does have banking license in New York, which makes it possible for us via the proprietary APIs to get access to the fiat denominated dollars within 24 hours within the state of New York and for the majority of volume trades within the US itself. Sure.
About 5 minutes.
So what that means is that, you know, the broker dealer or the registered investment advisor or the merchant here doesn't see digital anything. They see fiat currency. But the stablecoin is backed by, you know, US treasuries. And if you haven't read lately, we're having a hard time finding customers for our treasuries. So this is another way for the US government, we think will be friendly to our platform. Because they'll be sucking up a lot of that inventory. If you're a broker dealer, you have an issue you put out there, and you can't sell it. You don't tell anybody that, right? You know, because the people who already bought it, you know, what is this crap I just bought, right? So you don't tell them that you're absorbing the excess inventory there. So, you know, the Federal Reserve is sucking up, you know, what we don't sell at auction. Last week, 39 billion was auctioned off. We don't know how much really went out there and how much the Treasurer or the Fed actually absorbed. So we feel this is a great solution for the United States as well. So you can tap just an amazing amount of value offshore through our platform.
Yep. The Wall Street Journal obviously comes in every single time during discussions with our clients. Yeah, so that's the high level overview. We're currently targeting investors and holders abroad, and we're tailoring our technology accordingly. We have an AI-based model actually doing the analysis on chain. And the way our model works is that the more users we onboard, the better the predictive algorithm becomes. Which means that we're, as of Q1 next year, starting to do a roadshow globally with the different crypto communities. They work kind of similarly to in this room where they're on Telegram groups, everyone comes together. And we're doing these pitches and onboarding a fraction of their net worth and value, which they've taken profits in crypto. And we believe that doing this process manually initially gives us proprietary data with which others currently don't have on their identification, which will get us to the point where we can reduce the onboarding of these large amounts from currently days or weeks to minutes. If there's any
Deal
questions.
with taxes, foreign taxes, US taxes and foreign entities. How's that done? Is
US taxes on,
also a foreign investor investing in the United States. Right?
that's applicable in their own jurisdiction. Consult your own tax advisor.
So if you're in Switzerland.
We do have the data though that they can download online.
Because we've been trying to get foreign investors in the US.
For real estate, definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be massive. We could, we believe within 24 hours, 72 hours of launch, we'll have 300,000 people onboarded. And for a registered investment advisor, that's about 1,000 per person per year.
So are you guys a marketplace as well? In other words, if someone had a building, they wanted to sell to people in Europe, you're right, in some kind of syndicated manner. How are they getting awareness on the other side of the pond? Like, is there an intermediary that's doing this or?
Well, I mean, in the crypto community, this stuff goes viral very quickly. So we don't need to take out a Super Bowl out, and we don't need to hire Steph Curry or Shaquille O'Neal to, pump this. It's sort of word of mouth.
So it's gonna be specific though, like real estate may not work.
Well, we have data.
Yeah, right now, the majority of the interest that we're getting is on US treasuries and real estate specifically. But because people do want to have access to US dollar denominated assets earning US dollar returns that are only exposed to the US.
Yeah.
How much
Last
money
question.
went into building this platform?
Could you repeat that, please?
How much money went into building these platforms?
So we've been doing this for 2 years, known each other since late 2016, 17. Have done several deals. We're self-funded. I've been in the crypto industry since 2012. Dan's done very well on Wall Street himself. So I think Dan.
The answer is, I'd put 7 million in so far.
On the platform?
So, and on the other side, I have a 35-person team that's been in the space for pretty
Where
long.
are they? Are they overseas or?
No, they're all overseas.
Are they in cheap countries like?
Are they in India or is it?
No, so we're all on European time zone, if that's what you're asking, so.
Great.
Well, Russians are in European.
No, I don't think so, no, like, I don't think, we don't have anyone that way, so don't worry about that,
I'm just asking.
yeah.
Who are these?
We have no
Code
ties
has no
to
access,
Russia, right?
except for France.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Fantastic, great job, thanks so much.